We're going to take a few minutes here and just take a look at the Internet Explorer window to help familiarize you with some of the terms here in tutorial 1. So I'm going to go ahead and launch Internet Explorer as my web browser. This book is broken up this section is broken up into two parts, where the first section covers Internet Explorer and the second section covers the same terms and features, but if you were using the browser Mozilla Firefox. We've had some discussion on the discussion board of other browsers that are also used. Google Chrome seems to be one that's very popular with several of you. I use Google Chrome at home, and I do like to use it as well. And then Opera is another one, and it's the one that you really don't hear much about. I don't think we've had anybody post that they've used it. I've never used it. I just know that it's out there. Internet Explorer seems to be the one that most people use because it comes installed on your computer if you have Windows. It's part of that package. So if most of you are like me, just out of habit, that's the browser that you use most of the time. Until just this past summer, that was the browser that I had used, and I just kind of got tired of all the different problems that I was having. Thought Internet Explorer might be the cause of that, so I made the switch to Google Chrome, and I have been very, very pleased with it. And you can see my home page here is coming up. I have my home page set to the Black River home page. And I have my window maximized. Here in the top right hand corner of any window is your maximize, minimize, and close buttons. And to me, it's just easier to work with the window maximize so I can see everything on my screen a little easier. Now, here in your web browser is your address bar, and this is the bar that you are going to use to go to a specific website. Every website has an address or a URL, a Uniform Resource Locator, which is the easy way that we remember how to get to a website. In the appendix, the first couple of weeks of the semester, we talked about IP addresses, which will take you to the same site, but it's kind of hard for us to remember a series of numbers. It's much easier to remember the name of the website. So you can see here, blackrivertech.org is the URL for the Black River Technical College website. This is what I have set as my home page. You can set the home page on your computer to whatever site you visit most often. You could set it to your email login. You could set it to the Jonesboro Sun, whatever page it is that you want to see first when you log into the computer and bring up your web browser. Now, when you access a web page, the page is going to include links that are going to take you to other pages, hyperlinks. If you see here, as I put my mouse over one of these hyperlinks, my mouse pointer turns into a hand, a finger that's pointing. That lets me know that if I click here on current students, it's going to take me to a new page. Okay, that's linked. And here is what I see on the current students page. Now, up next to my address bar, I have my back and my forward buttons. If I would decide I need to go back to that first page again, I can hit the back button. It's going to back up a step to the previous page. And then I can use forward to go back to see what that was on current students. So the back and forward buttons allow you to move back and forth through pages you have already visited. Now, here with Internet Explorer, we have what's called tabbed browsing. So if you look here, this page is showing the page name on this tab. If I want to continue using this page, but bring up a second page, I can click on this little small tab here to the right, and it opens a new tab for me. This is going to give me a new window that I can access another web page in. going to go to the midlandpet.com website that you're going to use as you work through this chapter. Okay, so you can see now I've got 2 tabs going. I've got my Black River page here. I've got my Midland Pet Adoption Agency page going here. I could have more tabs if I needed. Now, also in your web browser, you can set favorites. Favorites are those pages that you visit quite frequently and you don't want to have to type the URL in every time. Here is my favorites button. And you're going to see as it drops down, here's a list of favorites that I have set. I haven't done a very good job of organizing mine, but you can create folders, and you see I have some here, but you can create folders and then you can store your favorite websites within those folders so that you have easy access to those pages without remembering that URL. Also, here under your favorites button, you can view the history. The history is where you go to see what websites have been viewed on this computer, and you have several different ways that you can look at this. Order listed today, view by date, by site. You can search back through there. Those of you who are parents and you may be curious as to what your kids are looking at on the computer, you can go to the history and take a look. I do this with my kids' computers, every now and then. If I'm curious what they've been in there looking at for so long, I can go to the history and take a look at that. Fortunately, they're not old enough to know that this exists just yet, because it can be cleared out. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open a third tab. When this new tab comes up, you see this option here. It says Browse within Private. In private browsing allows you to view a web page without that information going to the history. So if I want to view something but I want it to be kept a secret, a good example of this, my husband and I do a lot of online Christmas shopping. I don't want this information to be stored anywhere on my computer, so in case he gets to snooping around trying to figure out what I'm getting him, he won't be able to find it. So I could use the in private browsing, and that's going to bring up a new page. And notice right here it says in private. That lets me know that information from this page is not going to be stored in the history. Now you can also save a web page. If there was something on a page you wanted to be able to access later on, you go to the page link here. You can save as, and save as will come up asking you where you want to save the page to. It's just like saving any other file. So you would choose where you want to save this to, and you have some different choices here. The complete web page, which is in that HTML format, or you can save it as a web archive, which is a different file format. But you would need to just remember where you save it, and then you should be able to go into your browser and bring it up at any other time. Also, graphics that you find on web pages, sometimes you want to save those. And the easiest way to save a graphic from a web page is to right-click and choose Save Picture As. Again, that's going to bring up a new window asking us where we want to save this picture. We have to name it, and this type of picture is a GIF format. That's how it comes up. A lot of times it'll be a JPEG, and you just have to remember where you saved that picture so that you can access it later on. You're also able to use text from a web page. If you're researching, the easiest thing to do is to copy and paste text. And I can highlight this, I can right click and I can choose copy, and then I can go into Microsoft Word and paste that text. Now, one thing that I do want to make you well aware of is anytime that you're using information from the internet, whether it be graphics, text, whatever, you need to give credit to your sources. Where did the information come from? We've all heard about copyright laws, and we cannot take information from other places and put it out there as our own. We have to give credit to those sources. So please remember that. So this covers some of the features that you're going to be learning in tutorial 1. And again, this is using Internet Explorer. You're going to see some things a little bit different if you are using Mozilla Firefox or if you're using Google Chrome. I hope this was helpful to you.